Combinations of a bad wife. 1. If the lord of the 7th house is located in the Navamsha of a malefic planet and is located in between malefic planets, the wife is adamant, faulty, and adulterous. 2. If Venus is the lord of the 7th house, and is located with a malefic, or is with a planet in its sign of debilitation, or occupies its own sign of debilitation, or is eclipsed by the sun, and is in a malefic Shashti Amsha, the wife would be like a prostitute, hard and a thief. 3. If the lord of the 7th house is situated with a malefic planet, or the 7th house is occupied by a malefic, or when the lord of the Navamsha occupied by the lord of the 7th house is a malefic planet, the native gets a bad wife. Similarly, one gets a bad wife if the 7th house and its lord are located in malefic Shashtyamsha. 4. If the lords of the 7th and the 10th join Rahu in the 6th while Mars and Saturn are together, the native's wife will be of questionable character even as a widow. 5. If the 2nd and the 7th are occupied by malefics while Mars anti-Mercury are devoid of strength as the 6th is 10 and by 8th Lord and Saturn, the native's wife will be of questionable character. 6. If the lords of the 6th, the 8th and the 9th are associated with an aspect by malefics, the woman will be a whore. 7. If both the lord of the 7th house and its significator are located in their sign of debilitation and in Navamsha of their debilitation sign and are devoid of benefic influence, the native gets a bad wife. 8. An untruthful and blameworthy spouse will be obtained if the ascendant is Sagittarius Pisces while the 7th lord is in fall or the 7th house is occupied by debilitated planet as the moon is combust. 9. Mars is joined by Rahu in 7th house, one gets entangled with low status people, maid servant etc. 10. Mercury with Saturn in 7th house, a widow or widower's spouse. Or it may be a cowardly, wicked and mercurial person, or an important husband as spouse except when 7th is sign of Saturn itself. 11. If, at the time of birth of a woman Saturn be neither powerful nor weak, the moon, Venus and Mercury be weak, and the sun, Mars and Jupiter be powerful, and if the rising sign be odd, the woman will be of a masculine character. 12. If the moon and Venus be in a sign of Mars identical with the Lagna, the female born will have an aversion of her husband. 13. Ketu in 7th house makes one a romantic person and spouse will be intelligent but shrewish or of unpredictable nature. Shouting at each other is common in such placements. 14. If lords of 2nd, 6th and 7th are afflicted, a questionable character is indicated. 15. If Saturn is in the 7th house, the person will get a bad woman. 16. For one born in Virgo or in Gemini, if Jupiter is in fall in the company of the Sun and in aspect to a malefic while Mars is in a Navansar of Saturn, the native spouse will outwardly be innocent but will secretly liaise with others. 17. Moon and Venus are benefic planets, but when both combine in 9th house, character of the spouse will be doubtful according to Jatak Parijata. 18. Mars with Ketu in 7th spouse will be domineering type and shouting at each other may be witnessed. 19. The woman will be bad if the sun is the lord of the 7th and occupies a malefic sign or Amsa, and is either associated with or aspect by a malefic. 20. Mars and Venus exchange Navansas indicates extramarital relations. 21. The native's wife is of questionable character if the 7th lord with the 6th lord is in Lagna and aspect by Rahu. 22. The native's wife does not obey him if the 7th lord with the 8th lord is in the 12th aspect by Rahu. 23. Mercury joining Venus in 7th house, afflicted by malefic planets, indicates a secret pleasure-seeking person. 24. The native will not be trustworthy to beget a bride if in his nativity the lords of the 7th and the 6th are conjunct Venus. So, to say, he will not prove a reliable partner. 25. An unfaithful and disloyal spouse is indicated if the 7th house is owned by Venus as Venus is related to malefics and is in malefic Navarnsa. 26. 7th lord placed in 11th house and Rahu also joins it, spouse may be an already married person, a divorcee or with some such social stigma. 27. Mars joining Mercury and Venus in 7th house indicates a passionate person seeking secret pleasure. 28. 9th lord placed in 2nd, but afflicted by malefic, spouse of loose character. 29. 8th Lord occupying 7th house, spouse not of a good nature, as it is not a good placement for marital happiness, and in many cases spouse has been cause of death of native. 30. One's wife will be of questionable character if the moon is in the 7th while the 7th Lord is in fall, as the 2nd Lord is related to Rahu. 31. 7th Lord of Venus conjoined with or aspects by Rahu or Ketu, partner will be of loose character, unless some strong benefic is aspecting 7th Lord of Venus. 32. In lady's chart, if Saturn is aspecting or joining moon in 7th house, she will marry a second time while first husband is still alive. 33. 7th Lord joined by Rahu or Ketu, an aspect by either Mars or Saturn and Venus placed in any of the TLRKA houses, i.e. 6th, 8th or 12th, lose moral of the spouse from early life. The aspect of ascendant Lord or that of benefics may avoid this stigma. 34. If the ascendant and the moon are hemmed between malefic planets, are devoid of the aspects of benefic planets and are in conjunction with malefic planets, then that woman having eyes beautiful like those of a deer who has this yoga or combination in her horoscope remains in the grip of Cupid, the god of love, and destroys, by defaming, the families of both her father and her husband. 35. If the 7th house or its lord is conjunct a malefic, the native's wife will incur evils, especially if the 7th house or its lord is bereft of strength. 36. Sun or moon is 7th lord malefic afflicted and in malefic Rashi or Navamsha. 37. Rahu in the 8th is the cause for the woman to destroy the Kula Dharma. 38. If the malefic occupying the 7th house is debilitated or an enemy's house, she will hate her husband. 39. If in a woman's horoscope, Lagna and the moon occupy male rasis and are associated with or aspects by malefics, the woman will be dishonest, insubordinate, fierce and afflicted by poverty. 40. 7th Lord placed in 6th house joined by Venus may give an important spouse. 41. Sun in 7th house or Navamsha Lord of 7th Lord malefic, wife not of his liking. 42. Ascendant Lord in sign of Saturn or in Navansar of Saturn indicate a spouse of serious nature, orthodox, may be from a poor background and may not be having attractive features. 43. With Rahu in the 7th, she will be unhappy and bring infamy to the family. 44. Rahu in the 8th is the cause for the woman to destroy the Kula Dharma. 45. If either the ascendant or the moon's Lagna is between malefics and unaspected by a benefic, she brings disaster to the two families. 46. If the 7th house or its lord is conjunct a malefic, the native's wife will incur evils, especially if the 7th house or its lord is bereft of strength. 47. If the lords of Lagna and the 7th house occupy Shashta Ashtaka, 6/8 positions mutually, she will be always quarreling with her husband. 48. Saturn in 7H indicates harsh tongue, sickly, ugly. 49. Either Lord of 7th house or Venus or both of them are in sign of debilitation in birth chart or in Navansar, and no strong benefic aspecting the debilitated planets or wicked partner is indicated. 50. If lords of 2nd and 10th houses join 7th house and 7th lord also placed there, native himself will be a profligate. 51. 7th Lord occupying ascendant sign in the birth chart is a good indication, but affliction spoils it, and an afflicted 7th Lord in ascendant indicates a questionable character. 52. Weak moon placed in 7th house and joined a aspect by malefics gives an immoral person as spouse. 53. Saturn in the 4th house, 7th Lord in own house, Jupiter in a friendly sign in aspect to the Lord of the 8th. This yoga will give the native such a wife who will be sinful and whose sexual lust can never be subdued. Example chart 1. 1. She was born in Pisces ascendant with Rahu Ketu axis. In Navamsha 7th Lord Mercury also Rahu Ketu axis. 2. 7th Lord Mercury is additionally weak due to combustion, weak dispositor and old age. 3. 7th Lord also hammed between two malefic planets. 4. Mars rules the house of marital happiness and becomes weak due to infancy, weak dispositor, afflicted house of placement and debilitation in both Rasi and Navansar charts. 5. Venus place in 4th house an aspect by Saturn and hammed between two malefic planets. Venus closely afflicts the most effective point of the 4th house. The afflictions to 4th and 7th houses and the influence of Venus giving excessive urge for carnal pleasure spoiled the marital relations of the native due to involvement outside the marital bond which came to the notice of the husband within a year of the marriage. This all happened in the main period of Venus in the love affairs of the native. The marriage ended in a divorce. Chart 2. 1. She was born in Libra ascendant with Venus. Saturn is placed in own sign Capricorn in the 4th house and aspects Venus, 4th house also afflicted by Rahu Ketu axis. 2. In Navansar chart Lagna Lord Mars and 7th Lord Venus are associated in the 6th Navansar of Mars and hammed between two malefic planets. Thus prominent indications of adultery are present. She is a very smart and attractive female who spoiled her married life due to her unquenchable thirst of passion. She had physical gratification with her male and female friends. This was too much in her life, even after her marriage. This resulted ultimately into permanent separation with her husband. She is still engaged deeply into various immoral activities.